Chapter 4. Captured by the British. After escaping the ice, Joseph's ship made it safely to Ireland for repairs. From there, they sailed on toward Russia, but the seas were full of danger, not just from storms but from other ships. Great Britain was at war, and merchant vessels often traveled under the protection of warships. This convoy system kept enemies at bay, but it also made them a target. Near the coast of Denmark, a fierce gale drove the fleet toward a barren, rocky shore. Anchors strained, cables snapped, and one by one ships began to break free and drift toward destruction. When the Fanny's cable finally parted, the crew worked frantically to keep her off the rocks. They managed to escape the worst of the storm, but soon two suspicious-looking ships appeared on the horizon. "They're privateers," a sailor muttered grimly. "Warships for hire, working under Danish command." The two vessels closed in fast. Cannon fire boomed, and iron shots splashed into the sea nearby. The Fanny's captain had no choice but to surrender. The privateers escorted them to Copenhagen. There, the ship and its cargo were seized. Joseph and the crew were ordered to court to explain their voyage. One by one, they were sworn in. The judges warned that anyone caught lying would lose 2 fingers and a thumb. Joseph told the truth, even though some had hoped he would hide their dealings with the British convoy. His honesty likely saved him from a punishment he didn't even want to imagine. With the Fanny condemned, Joseph had to find work on another vessel. He signed on with a Danish brig bound for Prussia. That voyage was miserable: cold winds, poor food, and a captain whose temper flared like a squall. Eventually, Joseph transferred to another ship headed for Belfast, Ireland, hoping to find a way back to America. One evening in Liverpool, while Joseph and a shipmate were at their lodging house, the door burst open. An officer and 12 armed men stepped inside. "We're looking for sailors," the officer announced. "What country do you belong to?" Joseph quickly produced his protection papers, documents proving he was an American citizen. His shipmate did the same, but the officer barely glanced at them. "You'll do," he said coldly. The 2 young men were seized and dragged into the street. Passers-by stared as they were marched through town under guard, as if they were criminals. At the riverfront, a waiting boat carried them to a British warship named the Princess. Below deck, Joseph found himself locked in a crowded room with about 60 other men, all claiming to be Americans who had been pressed into British service against their will. It was April 27, 1810, and Joseph Bates had just been forced into the Royal Navy. His dream of adventure had suddenly turned into a fight for freedom. Lesson for the journey. Sometimes life feels unfair, and people may treat us wrongly, but even then, God is still with us. He sees every injustice, and He can use even the hardest moments to prepare us for the work He has planned. Bible verse: "For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and His ears are open to their prayers." 1 Peter 3:12.